up, Block fam? As you can tell, something's changed about Justin's engine. We went ahead and put a cam in there. He's got a SNS 475 cam, adjustable push rods. He's got the cam plate. He's got the entire stage 2 SNS cam chest kit. We put some fancy red collars in there for him because apparently he's going to go red at some point. At some point throughout this entire process of changing the stage 2, you will see that this will change to chrome at some point because I will replace that. I'm not doing it right this second, but that will be coming. The exhaust that we will be testing today, in no particular order, we're gonna use the SNS Grand National, it's the D&D Low Cat, it's the Sawicki Softail Mid-Length. We're also gonna use that same system with a catted muffler, so it'll be the Sawicki Mid-Length Catted. We use the TBR Turnout. We're gonna have the Stealth Cone style, as well as their reverse cone style. We're gonna have SPC's lane splitter. We'll have Thrashing's anti-reversion system, HPI's Softail stainless 2-in-1, and we're also gonna test our own Blockhead exhaust. So in total, we have 9 manufacturers, and we'll have 11 total different systems or different flow systems to test. I'm not sure which one we should pick. I did this last time. We can go through the pick process here. We got Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. Got you talking about his toe. I don't really know. Let's go with the shiny black one on the end. I'm gonna go with the D&D Low Cat. The only thing that's changed about this engine is an SNS 475 cam. Other than that, it's the same engine that we've been testing. Still a 107, same fuel in the tank, same everything. So again, this test that we did on the stage 1, if you checked out the testing in that one, we're basically repeating the same thing. You're gonna see the motorcycle. I'll probably show you a clip of each different exhaust. Then I intend to give you some sound bites. We'll make the power pull. There will be some tuning done on each system that you won't see, and then we'll show the results. And then at the very end, we'll take a collective result and see who the quote-unquote winner is. And as I stated in the stage 1, and I'll say this up front right now, I don't feel that any manufacturer listed on this page is a loser in any way, shape, or form. Doesn't matter who has the biggest number. Every one of these performs very, very well. Now, hopefully, now that we've put this cam in, we'll see some power, a little bit power difference here between each system. So this video can also be used for visual as well as audio. Anyhow, without further ado, let's get right into this.
Real quick, before we get too far into the video, the sponsor of today's video is BetterHelp, which works out perfectly because we talk about throttle therapy all the time. So we're a month into the new year, and while we've set some resolutions for the channel and the shop, it's also important to remember to focus on our personal goals. Something I've discovered over the years, especially with running a YouTube channel and opening a custom motorcycle shop, is that taking time to focus on yourself and focus on good mental health is incredibly important. If you guys have been with us for a while, you've seen the ups and downs that I've had, like getting burnt out. I'm pretty sure we've all experienced burnout at some point in our lives. However, one of the things that taught me how to manage that, as well as other aspects of my life, is therapy. It's something that I've mentioned a couple times on the channel. Previously, we also almost did a whole segment on it a couple years back. So that's where BetterHelp comes in. They understand that we come from all walks of life. With BetterHelp, you can have therapy sessions through a phone call, video chat, or messaging, whatever works best for you and your schedule. BetterHelp connects you with over 30,000 therapists, ensuring you find the perfect match based on your needs, preferences, and location, and in most cases, you'll be matched within 48 hours. I've got a number of goals like dedicating more time to riding with friends and overall just managing my time better. How does therapy help with those things? You'd be surprised how much talking to someone about how to navigate your life can help. Talking about it makes it real and it puts it out there. Therapists can help you set a path with clear and achievable intentions and goals. BetterHelp makes starting therapy easier and much less intimidating for a lot of people. So if you're ready to kickstart your journey to a happier, healthier life, click the link in the description below or visit betterhelp.com/blockhead. Not only does it help to support this channel, but it also gets you 10% off of your first month of BetterHelp. Big thanks to BetterHelp for being along for the ride and sponsoring this video. We greatly appreciate it.
All right, there's the D&D Low Cat. now we're going to test the Sawicki. This is, again, their mid-length 2-in-1. Let's see how this one turns out. We'll call that 120, and 108.5, so we'll round up to 109, so 120 and 109. Not bad, Sawicki, good job. We are back. If you notice, this system looks very similar to the one we were just testing. If you notice, we look inside here, this has a cat in there. This has a catalyst muffler in it. So one thing I want to point out between these two systems is they're going to sound similar. I want you to pay attention to the overall tone. I think some of the raspiness and the sharpness is definitely going to be reduced, but the overall tone and the visceral feeling, I believe you're still going to have through this catalyst muffler. So see what you think, and without further ado, let's get into it. We got 120.66 and 106.09, so we got a little bump in the torque. It looks like we got a lot more torque earlier. The blue line is Sawicki without the cat, and the red line is Sawicki with the cat, and I'm going to say that the Sawicki with the cat definitely delivers and maintains a lot more meat in the riding zone between 3 and 4,000. It loses a little bit out here on the horsepower side, but I'll be blunt with you, that doesn't matter to me, and you're not really living out here, so this is your ride zone. I'm gonna say that that's actually really good for a catted pipe. I'm impressed. I like it. But anyways, regardless of all that, number 120.66, 106.09, not bad, Sawicki. On to the next. So here we go. We have the Stealth Short 2-in-1. This one is what is up next. So let's see what this one puts out. Oh, wow. All right, let's see how she does. There we go. We've got 117.63 on the torque and 109.46 horsepower. Good job, Stealth Shorty. All right, on to the next. Now we're on to the Stealth 2-into-1 turnout. I don't know what they call it. We are going to put it through the paces. You notice nothing is on at the moment. This is obviously another day. Good news, we finally got a little AC in the shop, so there's actually some AC out there. The weekend also happens. So anyways, this is now Monday. Let's see what we get. So there we go, and now let's move on to the next. All right, there we go, guys. We now have the Thrashing AR system. Let's do a little audio clip while we're up here. What did we get on that? We got 119.05 and 106.50. Graph looks pretty good. I see that little breakup right there between, say, 35 and 4. It gets a smidgen flat there. Let's take a look. We get just a pinch lean right there, just a little bit. We could fix that, probably smooth that out. But anyways, that's 119, maybe 120 if we smooth that out. I don't foresee us getting a ton more. Anyways, not bad, not bad. Let's move on to the next. All right, so there it is. The TBR is on, installed. I can't remember if I do this every time, so we're gonna do it now. I'll give you a little audio clip. TBR results are in. We got 117.51 and 108.04. Woo! Go TBR. All right, so I don't know who's next. So as I keep saying, for some reason this is a recurring statement in this episode. On to the next. There it is. We got the SPC on now. Let's get this guy in the dyno and see what we get out of this now. But before we do that, let's do that audio thing that we always do here. 117, 110.02, not too bad. Good job, SPC. On to the next. Got the HPI put on. Let's get this into the dyno. Let's do what we normally do. Audio here. Like I said, a lot of hype behind this, so let's see what we get. See how it sounds. And we landed at 120.03 foot-pounds and 108.81 or 109 horsepower. Blockhead exhaust, 2 in 1. Let's get a little audio clip, guys. Let's do what we do. We are looking at 118.89 and 110.96. So let's just round up, 119 and 111. All right, guys, I went ahead and flipped this clutch release cover for Justin. We actually traded parts here, him and I. Mine here is now black. My standard came with chrome, his street bob came with black, so we kind of did a little trade, and that's what we do around here to make things happen for each other. But anyways, I believe what's next is the S&S Grand Nationals. Let's get these mounted up and get it in the dyno, and let's get those numbers. We landed at 120.57 and 110.89. So now that we pulled all these, we did both stage 1, or we did stage 1 first, and now we've done a stage 2 setup, all on the same exhaust. So we're going to see not only the difference between a stage 1 and stage 2 on the same exhaust using an S&S 475 cam, because that is the cam that we picked. Also, we're comparing all the same exhausts on the same engine, same cam, same fuel on the same day from the same fuel tank at the gas station. I can't get the same air because I can't do it all in the same day. Plus, man, we live in Florida, man. At 10 o'clock in the morning, it's nice dry air, and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's wet. So, anyways, so let's take a look at what we've got. Let's recap this one more time. We've got our Blockhead exhaust. We came in at 118.89, so I'm gonna round up. We're gonna use whole numbers through all of this. Know that I'm rounding up for everyone. So 119 and 111. D&D, we've got 122 and 107. HPI, we came in at 120 and 109. S&S, 121 and 111. We've got Sawicki with the cat in it. That came in at 121 and 106. This is the Sawicki non-catted. This is their standard mid-length. It came in at 120 and 109. SPC, we topped out at 117 and 110. Stealth 2-in-1. It's 118 and 109. Stealth turnout. This was 117 and 111. TBR 118 and 108. The Thrashing came in at 119 and 107. I'm gonna bring everyone up on the screen here. So there's some things I want to point out and talk about. Now this gets real busy. If we go by Blockhead, DND, HPI, SNS, so on and so forth, just for those of you at home, if you look at that line, there's a color that coordinates with that, as well as the output, the total output number. This is our torque side, and this is our horsepower side. Winner on the torque side is D&D. That's pretty easy to find at 122, 121.95, so 122, and we're going to talk about where that power comes in just a second. And on the horsepower side, it looks like our winner is Stealth. Looks like the turnout has the most horsepower. Let's look at our swing. So 122 to as low as 117. So our swing is only, what, 4 total. But most of these are averaging 119 to 120. On the horsepower side, our biggest swing is 5 horsepower. So 4 torque and 5 horsepower. That's not huge. I know some people at home are going to be like, man, you're killing it, or they're killing it, or so-and-so. But the reality is the overall number isn't always the biggest factor on what you want when you're picking your exhaust. What you really want to keep an eye on is where that power is. How much power do I have at what RPM range, and how long do I carry that power? Let's look at what's our biggest swing. It appears to be SNS Grand Nationals, which that's them, to D&D. Let's bring these up, so where the power is, what the power looks like, and how it comes on. So the D&D is the red line. It looks like it, say, right on full throttle, we have a dip. We're not looking at AFRs right now. I promise you all of them are about as flat as they're gonna need to be. And just so you guys know, the AFR line doesn't always have to be perfectly flat to build the most power. Sometimes you want it to be a little bit lean and maybe a little bit fat in certain areas to help fill a gap. If you notice, this is a huge power transfer between the two, and it happens all the way through. These two pipes are literally backwards of each other on how they produce power. That produced 122 and this produced 121. This only produced 107 horsepower, whereas SNS produced 111. So there's a 4 horsepower swing here, but there's only 1 foot-pound of torque. But if you look at this, wow! I mean, this is tremendous. So you're looking at from here to here in the biggest gap, which would be right about here. You're looking at about 15, give or take about 15 foot-pounds at 2650. As we carry that through, they equalize. At 3,000, they're identical, but D&D is coming on real strong, and SNS is starting to fade out. They do catch back up, but let's look at this. So then from 3,000 to 4,000, again, that about 15 swing happens again. It just happens the other way. If you are someone that rides your bike and likes to shift at 3,000 all the time, you might prefer to have the SNS Grand Nationals because that makes sense for you. You have more power here. If you're someone that rides through that zone and usually shifts right about 4,000, 4,500, and you're landing, give or take, about 3,000, then you might want the D&D because look how much more power you have in this zone. Now, if you're one that runs all the way through the power band and you're all the way out here, or you're just living out here, then again, if you're living out here, you're definitely going to want the SNS. If you are running all the way through your power band, you may not want either of these. I want to talk about SPC because this is very interesting to me, guys. Well, the best way I can do this is the SPC header is very similar to TBR, but the can design, the muffler design, is different. So it's similar to any manufacturer that has a cone. So it's a conical design, a little bit longer, and it doesn't have any super special baffling, but the flow characteristics of that pipe, if you notice, it's a short, I mean, it's not short, it's a mid-length 2-in-1, but it doesn't have this power lull that typical 2-in-1s have. It starts at 110, and it for the most part lives at 110 till about 3,900. Then it starts to build and peak, and that's it. It just peters off out here. But all through here, it's consistent power. It's flat, you know what you're gonna get. Whereas with one of these, so if we had the S&S right there, you're gonna start losing some of that power. If you have that D&D, man, right there, you're gonna feel that power. So this is really what we're looking at, or what I'm looking at when we refer to, or I refer to, overall power. Not just the big number. Because look, they only put out 117 total, but look at their horsepower, 110. So they didn't quite have as much down here, but they carried it through consistently, and it continued to produce all the way to the end. So there's a lot of things to look at when we're looking at graphs and talking about graphs. When we're looking at these graphs, one thing we're looking at currently is these are all graphs of basically mid-length or short, what we would call short 2-in-1 systems, except the S&S Grand Nationals, that blue line. That's the only 2-in-2 system represented in this comparison. So all of these graphs are looking similar. Obviously the blue one's a big difference. It is, again, 2-in-2 compared to a 2-in-1. And then also D&D is different from SPC, both here and here. They have power change, power transfers, power exchanges, so on and so forth. I would like to say that once all these graphs are up, it's gonna look like a bunch of spaghetti. At the end of the day, it's where you guys want the power. When I say when picking an exhaust, you're gonna wanna pick what is best appealing to you. Not only power delivery, how it feels, how it sounds, but also how it looks. Because exhaust can be very personal, and everybody has, you know, their own flair, and everybody should have their own flair. If you ain't representing yourself, shame on you. You know, that's what I say. So now that I have all this up, we know that our swing here was 5, and here was 4. That's all. That's a total, again, total output number. But what we're looking at, again, what I look at is now that we have them all up here, who outperforms who where? So again, the biggest power down low, I'd say 2,500 and even 2,000, is the S&S Grand National. It is a true 2-in-2, completely different baffle design, completely different flow characteristics. So it's real strong right down here. But here's its belly. Here's its lull right there. And we can't see this, but that's right about 3,000 to, I don't even know, 4,000 really. If you enjoy this, if you understand what I'm saying, I do leave out a lot of technical information. I leave a lot of details out that aren't necessarily relevant to you, the watcher. There's a lot of things that go into this. It's not just hook it up, make some poles and change some things and go on. It doesn't. That's not how this is. Each engine performs to its own liking. Each engine requires its own tune, so to speak. So it has its own liking, and everything can change as you guys see here. Just simply changing these right here, these noisemakers, affects all of that, which also in turn affects your tune. There was a lot of work that went into all this. There's a lot of time that this poor motorcycle right here spent on the dyno. There's a lot of things that go into each one of these that you don't necessarily see. This comparison, this whole deal, from the stage 1 video to now the stage 2 video, each one of these are done like a machine. I do every one of them the same way, same tire pressure, same oil temp. I know I would talk about engine temp, and I know I just say those things, but there's a whole bunch more that goes into this to keep it consistent. Same transmission fluid. I actually had to change the transmission fluid, and I didn't have the same weight that came out. So I can't put a 140 in it when I had 90 weight in it. So that would slow down a little bit unless I obviously make it really hot. So anyhow, everything about this is the same. It's as same can be. There's no trickery, no cheating, no like we took the air cleaner off and shoved air into it. Yeah, my fan's right here, but for cooling, that's not to actually shoot air in there. Every bike was done that way, so it's not like one got more than the other. And you know, I will say this, since we're at this moment, overall between the two numbers, the winner of everything, if we could say there was a winner of everything, is the S&S Grand National. That would be the overall winner. The horsepower winner, definitely Stealth Turnout. And keep in mind, guys, I want to say this too, it's not like anybody's a loser. So we're just, these are the bigger numbers on these polls. And these are all the biggest numbers of all 3 polls. Every one of these exhaust systems was pulled 3 times. Again, I start the poll at an engine temp of 165. I get the engine temp usually up to about 270, 265, 270. I get the oil temp up about 155 to 180, anywhere between there. I make sure that my pull, the engine temp is at 165. The oil temp by that point is usually still about 150. That's constantly monitored. Everything about this is constantly monitored so that I could produce the most fair comparison that I could possibly create for you guys. The torque side though, D&D low cat 122. If we have a winner, the overall top performer would be 121 and 111, and that would be the S&S Grand Nationals, which just happened to be his personal exhaust system. So isn't that kind of funny? It's probably not to you guys, and I don't know how suspicious that all sounds. You know, it's like, hey, your exhaust system was the best. Go figure, it should be. And then, oh yeah, the best overall performer is his own exhaust system. But that's just kind of the way this one worked out. What is that saying? That's the way the cookie crumbled. All right, guys, so I do hope you enjoyed that. As you probably noticed throughout this episode, I'm wearing many different hats, many different outfits. This takes a while to compile and put together. We do this for you guys. We do this for ourselves. We do this for our science. Like, comment, subscribe, please. It goes a long way. We are thinking about doing this, or we're looking forward to potentially doing this on a stage 3 as well, and then eventually we're going to sneak Justin up to a stage 4. So I hope you enjoyed that content. I hope you'll have a good weekend.